is short. That's a fact. That's a fact. Satan is here, his angels are here, and his time is short, and he's ticked off. He's fired up. He's filled with fury because he was thrown out of heaven. And his goal is to keep God's children, you and I, out of heaven. And he will do anything that he can. He is the ruler of the air. The Bible describes him as he's prowling around. He's looking for someone to devour. Earth is a dangerous planet. You are on an alien planet, and you, my friend, are not safe. Welcome to Earth, ladies and gentlemen. It is not safe. Tonight we're going to talk about the dangers of indifference, the dangers of seduction, and then we're going to look at how Jesus saves us from this alien planet. You know what I did as I studied this out, it's a great Bible study, is I looked at every person mentioned here in Hebrews 11, and I asked myself, how are they aliens? And I looked at their story and I studied it out. It's pretty amazing. But it says all of them, these people, all these people, they admitted that they were aliens. All heroes of faith, aliens in this world. Let's look at one of them. Look at verse 7. Let's look at Noah. Hebrews 11, verse 7. It says, by faith, Noah, when warned about things not yet seen, in holy fear built an ark to save his family. By his faith, he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness that comes by faith. It says here in Hebrews 11, what is he known for? What did he do? What's going down in the hall of faith is that he lived in fear, holy fear. And because of that holy fear, he obeyed. Let's look over in Genesis chapter 6. Let's look at the story of Noah for a minute, the story of the flood. Verse 5. It says, the Lord saw how great man's wickedness on earth had become, and that man's wickedness on the earth had become, and that every inclination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil all the time. The Lord was grieved that he had made man on the earth, and his heart was filled with pain. So the Lord said, I will wipe mankind, whom I have created from the face of the earth, men and animals, and creatures that move along the ground, and birds of the air, for I am grieved that I have made them. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. This is the account of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked with God. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight and was full of violence. God saw how corrupt the earth had become, for all the people on the earth had corrupted their ways. So God said to Noah, I am going to put an end to all the people, for the earth is filled with violence, and because of them, I am surely going to destroy both them and the earth. So make yourself an ark of cypress wood, make room in it, and coat it with pitch inside and out. This is how you are to build it. And he goes on to describe it. And then in verse 22, look what it says about Noah. Noah did everything just as God commanded him. And then in verse 5, and Noah did all that the Lord commanded him. You know, it says that he lived in holy fear and he obeyed. And truly, Noah was an alien on his planet. Look at what it says about his planet. Or Noah was an alien. Got that there? Okay. The people of his time. Every inclination, every even thought. Only evil all the time. Only evil been arrested for a death. But the Chinese community, big time right now, they're really searching, why don't we have a soul? Why don't we care? And all these questions are asking. And I know that this is an extreme case of indifference. This is really extreme. But sometimes it needs to be the extreme that wakes us up. Do we really care? And you think about our world, people don't care about God. They're indifferent toward God. They don't care that their sin hurts God. You know, at Northwestern University, a psychology class this last spring on human sexuality had an optional class meeting. It's a class of 600 students in this class, and 120 showed up to this meeting where there were sexual acts that were done in the lecture hall. This was in March of last year. And this was an optional thing, and the professor afterwards, it brought up all this controversy, right? And his comment after this, it says, sticks and stones may break your bones, but watching naked people on the stage doing pleasurable things will never hurt you. The university, okay, the university, that guy's messed up. What about the university? Look what it said. This was their official response. Northwestern University faculty members engaged in teaching and research on a wide variety of topics. Wow. Some of them are controversial and at the leading edge of their respective disciplines. The university supports the efforts of its faculty to further advancement of knowledge. I read that story. I was sick. I was like, that's disgusting. That's vile. And the truth is, this is the world we live in. The world is indifferent and doesn't care about God. And the world doesn't care that they're grieving God. That's what the Bible says. That is God's response to sin. My question is, do you care? And we can hear those stories. You read those stories, you go, oh man, what's up with that? Come on. And get indignant and fired up. I can't believe that. You know, we get upset about vile things. But are we really indifferent? Are we any different? Do we care about God's word really? Are we really going to stand out in this world? You know, we can get calloused, right? One more time won't hurt anything. Jesus already died for me. Right? I thought that. And we can become indifferent toward the cross. You know, and any Christian that's living a life of sin that's unconfessed, you don't care about the cross. That's truth. Because if you really saw what was going on, if you really saw the cross, you would change. If you really understood God's love and how much he cares for you, that's why it grieves him. If he didn't care about you, he wouldn't be grieved. But he's grieved because he cares so much for us. The truth is, Satan wants us to be apathetic. Satan wants us not to care. Not to care about the consequences of our actions. And Noah is a powerful example of someone who faced the challenge, faced the danger of becoming indifferent. And it says he was all by himself, but he chose to stand out. So how do we become like this? What happens in our hearts? You know, so one of the things that I think Satan introduces in our hearts, it's not the big thing, it's the little thing, right? It's the little thing. You know, we can become indifferent towards his love and the details in the commandments. And just like in the garden, we can start saying, did God really say? Did God really say? What is impurity after all? Right? We can start thinking these things. But what does the Bible say? God tells him to build the ark 450 feet long. What if Noah said, I'll build it 350 feet? Whatever. God doesn't really care. It wouldn't have floated. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. It would have sank. They wouldn't have room for the lions. And they had the exact plan from God. And look at the word of God. Look what it says in verse 22 of chapter 6. Noah did everything just as God commanded him. In chapter 7, verse commands. You do all that the Lord commands. That's how he was an alien in this world. That's how he was. Details matter to God. You think, oh, it's not that big of a deal. And sometimes you may have thought that with the paper, right? He wants 6 pages, I'll give him 4. Hey, right? It's due this day, I'll turn it into the next day. Hey, all right. And the truth is, I've got a college freshman right now. He went to his professor and he needed help. He was struggling. And the professor said, okay, I'll help you. Do these 20 assignments and they're due by Wednesday. He turned them in Friday and he got a 0. And then he came to me, he's like, oh man, that crazy professor, you know. And I was like, what did they tell you to do? It's like, you're going to lose your scholarship, aren't you? He's like, yeah, I already know. You know, he's frustrated. But he didn't do what she asked him to do. And he lost his scholarship and he had to drop that class. You know, details matter to God. Look at how many commands are in the Bible. There's lots. They matter to God. And you may think, oh, it's too much. Just focus on loving him. Focus on carrying him back, caring for him back. As much as he cares for you. You can do anything when you love somebody. Amen? You know, the people of Noah's day were indifferent toward God. And they were destroyed. Let's not be like Noah and face the dangers of indifference with precise obedience. Amen? Look over in Proverbs chapter 7. Dangers of seduction. Proverbs chapter 7. I hope you guys aren't getting tired. Maybe you're just convicted, because I was convicted as I read this stuff. It's challenging to be an alien. Proverbs chapter 7. I read this passage often.